What were you saying about Anakin Skywalker?
George Lucas.
So how about them Phillies?
What's that from again?
No idea.
That is
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like Jim Carrey.
Can you play it again? Can you play it again? Can you play it again one more time and hold up to the microphone so we can all hear it?
What the fuck?
That is by far the funniest sound effect I think you have
I
on
keep
your
thinking
phone.
like Ace Ventura or something, you know?
It sounds like it almost sounds like Jim Carrey
Yeah.
or something. But you know, you always have funny sound effects on your phone, but that is definitely since what was the one with the the answering machine message that you had on your phone a while ago? Remember? Hey, this is
I was on a CD I had, or I was on my
CD?
computer. Yeah.
or whatever. It was. Hey, you've reached the. He's on the can. I'm on the can. Round 3. And speaking of round 3, here we go with episode 3 of No Title. We'll try to get more laughs than that. And we're going to pause. And welcome to episode 3. We're at episode 3, guys, of No Title, the Bad Movie Nights movie web series thingy that we're doing. And I am joined again by my illustrious co-hosts and co-commentators, Sir Mark, Sir Eric,
No.
and me, Sir Nick. So let's get right into our movie news. Movie news. And what's our first story, Mark? What do you got?
Avatar. They're gonna come out with sequels.
Shit.
Many sequels.
How many sequels?
Maybe 4. Maybe 3.
Each of them is going to be 2 hours long and in 3D.
Yeah, probably.
Why not?
Why not? Like I said to Eric earlier, it will not make $2 billion. Their sequels
No, it'll make $5 billion.
combined.
There we go.
Yes, come on. Now, each movie will make $5 billion because by the time they're all filmed and put out, ticket prices will be $20
$50 a shot. in 3D.
Inflation.
Yeah.
a ticket. Well, are you at all excited for these next sequels, or is it just like...
Be honest with you, I never saw the first one. I had no interest in seeing the first one. And 3D,
Well, okay, Eric?
Yes. Yes, I would like to see them. Now, the first movie was fun, and it was enjoyable, but I think that momentum will not be there for the sequels. They can go anywhere they want with them, but... Yeah, we'll see when they come out and everything, but it's years from coming out, so it's like, you know what?
Well,
if they can come up with stories, great. If not, it wouldn't be shocking.
Well, I've seen the first one on FX now a couple times, and it's not a...
It's fun,
It's
but
a fun movie, but yeah...
it's not a... I don't view it as a future classic of like, oh my god, remember when that movie came out?
Well, the
It
other thing
was
is-
just a fun
Well,
movie.
the other thing I thought, which was weird, and I think Cameron addressed it originally, was Avatar's more like an open and closed movie. By the end of it, you know, the spoiler alert, the big blue cat people win. You know, they kill.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, that's
the
what
big
they're called.
blue cat people.
No, I'm sorry, the
He's
Navi.
obviously seen this movie a lot.
Big blue.
I like big blue cat people.
Oh, no, they're the what? The Navi.
The Navi, yes.
The Navi. The Navi. The emphasis is on the V.
Yeah, the French Indian.
But no, it's basically at the end of the movie. It's like, okay, it's over.
They've resolved that one particular aspect, but they hint at many other moons and planets
Right,
around.
and James Cameron once said that I think that Avatar 2 is going to take place underwater.
Right,
and then
or
another one's
another
gonna take place on a moon or
planetoid.
in the same
Yeah.
solar system, and it's like...
That's interesting, but again, hopefully these other movies, since it had just kind of a traditional story that's been done in like Pocahontas, Last of the Mohicans,
Last of the Mohicans, and
Outer Space,
and Dances with
Dances
Wolves.
with
I'm
Wolves.
sorry, but you know what? In my opinion, find new material. You know,
Well, Hollywood
now
can't-
you're just being money grubbing. You know?
Hollywood can't find new material, and they're going to have a harder time finding new material when someone who was a brilliant Hollywood writer, in her own respect, Nora Ephron.
Yes, what a sly lead in, my friend. Yes, unfortunately, Nora Ephron passed away.
I'm trying to get good at. I'm trying to get good at.
Stop it, Nora.
I'm trying to
Get back in the box.
I'm trying to get good at segues here. So.
Yes. Unfortunately, Nora Ephron passed away at the age of 71. She had cancer. I don't know what type of cancer, but she...
I believe
you
it
know,
was leukemia.
Okay. But
That's not funny.
that's... Thank you, Peter Griffin.
That's funny.
But yeah, she obviously was involved with a series of movies and everything. But she's very well known for Sleepless in Seattle. You've Got Mail, and she, like I said, she's and
When Harry Met Sally.
there we go.
Did she do a
yes.
bad movie?
She's done plenty of them.
But you.
No, but overall,
she-
she's had more hits than bombs and everything like that. And she seemed to come off as like, I don't know, people generally liked her movies, or they were nice date movies, or just feel good kind of things. And
Yeah, nothing really award winning though.
so one Harry Met Sally
Harry Met Sally got nominated.
and Sleepless in Seattle. But again, it's more of kind of the romantic kind of tearjerker kind of.
But they're movies that make you feel good, and you
Yeah.
end up watching on E! Or Lifetime whenever they rerun them because they're just fun movies to watch.
Yeah, they're nice and lighthearted, or deal with
Yeah.
some serious issues. But yeah,
And speaking of award winning, I just
funny you should mention that, Nick.
yes, it is funny that it's award winning because I just saw a thing on your Facebook wall.
My Facebook wall, no, the world's Facebook wall.
Oh, that's right, Sloppy the Psychotic Clown, the horror movie that you've been involved with for the last year,
Yes.
won an award.
Yes, it did. It was recently shown at a festival up in New York, and it was up for a couple categories with writing and directing and all that kind of stuff. But it won, and one of them was for music score, and that was by Mr. James Costa. And yes, so we were all now
Sloppy
involved with.
the Psychotic Clown is now an award winning film.
It's an award-winning horror film. Thank you, vast audience.
What audience? Where's that coming from?
I don't know. It's not like canned laughter.
It's not. It's not that it's looping over and over and over.
No,
and over again.
no. But yes, Sloppy, and actually, it has been picked up for distribution. Yes, so like Deadly Detour, I believe roughly 6 months from now, it will have a distribution release date and everything like
Speaking
that.
of Deadly Detour, didn't you guys just?
Yes, I, being friends with the director, Mike O'Mahony, he just gave me a heads up that they released or are shipping over 3,000 copies of Deadly Detour over to England. So, there we go. We're gone international.
All right, there, mate.
That's right. Why are you speaking Australian?
Australia.
You're an Australian in England on vacation.
But no, you could. But right now, you can buy Sloppy the Clown or Sloppy the Psychotic Clown on. Can you buy it, or is it not?
No, Deadly Detour is available. You can go on to like Target and Best Buy, things like that. Amazon.com. They're selling copies through their websites. Unfortunately, at the time being, there are no copies sitting on the shelves at the store, but you can go to any of those locations and find it for
You
purchase
can buy,
there.
well, yeah, and Sloppy the Psychotic Clown does have a Facebook wall that you can
Yes,
follow
you
and
can
like.
certainly go on to Facebook under Sloppy the Psychotic, and I'm working with Mike in capacity for his newest film, IBS, and they're shooting that right now, but that's a little ways from coming out, so
More updates on that later.
yeah, later on. It gets
Yeah,
a little closer to completion.
And when it wins some awards
Of
that are
course.
newsworthy.
Well, they're all going to be newsworthy.
Of course, because this show is all about up to the minute news and
Future news.
future news. Yes. And so we're gonna move into our main topic today, since this is episode 3.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about 3 big movies that have come out and we've all seen in the theaters.
Jaws 3.
The
I
first-
haven't seen all of them, Nick.
Well, get on the ball.
Get on the bus.
You're doing work for this podcast or web series, and you're not. I need to edit that. Any case, the first one we all did see. And right off the bat, we're going to talk about Prometheus.
Ah.
That movie that could have been better, could have been worse. Go ahead. Someone else kick it off because I'm going to start rambling on about how much I didn't like it. Mark, what did you think of Prometheus?
I thought it was passable.
Thank you very much.
Passable. So, middle of the road. What?
Middle of the road. Some things I liked, some things I didn't like.
Name one thing in particular you did not like about Prometheus.
I didn't like the fact they took their giant spaceship and smashed it into alien technology and brought it down with one little explosion.
Even though the aliens, their nice hyper advanced spaceship didn't have any weapons to shoot at the alien spaceship, they had to ram it in there, and it just like, yep, this took it down. But Eric, you had a couple complaints about Prometheus.
Yeah, I had a few dozen. Honestly, I view this as this is exactly what a 2-star movie is to a weak 2.5-star movie. The potential was there. The acting was all decent. They just didn't give the people much to do. There was not really any bad acting in the film. It's just what the script made them do, and it seemed to be filled with a fair amount of plot holes. I did not expect them to answer everything. I knew that before seeing the film. They don't answer everything, and that's fine. They leave it open if they want to do a sequel. That's fine. But they were just, it seemed like sloppy writing on the part of the screenwriters what made it to the final film, which is a shame because it had some very interesting ideas in the movie, and they didn't capitalize on them. And unfortunately, even with the director's cut coming out on Blu-ray and everything, I think they'll have other interesting ideas in there, but I think for the bulk of the things that are still going to be in that film and nothing being removed from it, you're still going to have these giant gaping holes that don't come off as smart writing, in my opinion. It's just...
Well, let's go back to Mark. What did you find exciting about the film? Since we're gonna complain about it, what did you find exciting or interesting about about Prometheus?
What did I find? Well, I liked the fact that we were.
Because we're all fans of the Alien
franchise.
and
I like the fact that basically the aliens are us, basically, just more advanced. We're like kind of their science experiment per se,
Yeah.
Space God.
It's a movie about going looking for Space God, eh?
Yeah, sure.
You can rent that at your local Blockbuster. It's called Star Trek V.
Please don't.
No, rent Star Trek V. It's a movie worth watching.
Save your money.
Save your money. Rent Prometheus. Prometheus at least had more going for it than Star Trek V.
Did it?
Yes, I can honestly say that.
Prometheus didn't have rocket boots.
No, and that was a good thing.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the reason I'm letting you guys vent all your frustration because I walked out of the movie and I think I just have the movie just left a bad taste in my mouth of like this. When I was watching it, I was interested. I was brought into the universe, and like you said, there were lots of plot holes and just kind of things that bring me back. And as I look back at it, I'm like,
stupid logic.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, or that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. And one of the things that really bugged me the most about the whole movie was the fact that the scientists did not act like scientists.
Nope.
I mean, what? You're on an alien planet. You've never been there before. Yes, I understand you have a computer that tells you that the air is clear or clean to breathe. I still would not take off my helmet and start breathing it because you don't know what else is in that air that could affect your body. Allergens, bacteria, anything that could get into your body and kill you, or make your body react to it. It's like, this is an alien planet. You haven't been there before. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine. But then the geologist guy, who it was established very late that he was even a geologist because he came off originally as like just a tough guy or like a marine. Like, no, I'm a tough guy, and he was a guy with red hair and
shaved head and tattoos.
Shaved head, tattoos, and all that stuff. It's like, no, he's a geologist. He wasn't the least bit interested in any of the rock formations or rocks on the ground looking
maybe
for
5 seconds, if that, when they first got on the planet and they didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
That was it.
And then the other guy was supposed to be like a biologist or a zoologist, and he sees this nice little
snake penis thing.
Penis-looking thing, and his first inclination is to
pet it like a kitty cat.
Yeah.
Not caring what environment they're in. They're on their turf.
Yeah, just take some take some film of it, take a video of it, and then maybe scan it. Like,
All right.
they gave you a nice little tricorder thing.
And you can still off the guy when they need to and all that jazz.
And
but
walk away. And even that was kind of a BS scene, I thought, because they were mapping the whole complex with the 3D globe mapping, which
Yeah,
was
a
cool,
little-
which
yeah.
was a cool effect. And they got lost. How did they get lost again?
And a horseshoe
Yeah.
shaped ship.
When it was-
Granted, it's large, but just the way the film plays out, there are a lot of inconsistencies, and unfortunately, it just adds up to being kind of a lame. Too many lame ideas.
Like the door, it didn't seem like the door was all that far away from the room that they ended up in with the big giant human head, or human-looking head. And it's like, guys, the door's just around the corner there. You can't find it. No, we can't find it. We gotta stay here. Granted, if they'd found the door and said like we can't go back to the ship because of this big storm, we had to go back inside. That's one thing. But it played out like, no, we're lost. We can't find anywhere we're going. And they didn't answer what killed all the other
Space jockeys.
space jockeys, because they come across a pile of them at one point. It's like they're all piled up, and it's like, well, how'd they die?
Again,
You just-
they don't need to answer everything, but when the film falls short, you wind up questioning a lot more than I think what they were planning on you asking.
Yeah, because it just didn't feel
And
like.
it just comes off as kind of a neat-looking mess. Beautifully shot. I expect that it will be Oscar nominated for the visual effects, cinematography.
Maybe.
But unfortunately, when it comes to the rest of it, a lot of neat ideas mixed in with a lot of just garbage logic that makes just for a middle-of-the-road potential for a great movie that's just okay.
Like Mark said, a passable film.
Passable
Yes.
film, but not,
Certainly not.
wow, a great early prequel to Alien kind of, in that universe.
So to wash our palate off from that one, we went and saw That's My Boy with Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg, new comedy.
That's performing oh so well at the box office.
Don't forget Leighton Meester.
Leighton Meester, I think. Is it Leighton or Leighton?
Leighton.
Leighton Meester. Okay, however you say her name. If you want to contact us, that's perfectly fine, and tell us how to pronounce your name.
Just say
But-
Nick's wrong. Nick's wrong. Post it all over YouTube.
But now, what did you think of that movie? Now, I thought it was pretty funny. I mean, Adam
Yeah.
Sandler's has had his hits and his misses, but this one I thought was a hit.
It's been one of his funnier movies within recent years.
Yes, I agree
Oh,
with
yeah.
that. I think it's a far cry from Big
Billy
Daddy and things, or Billy Madison, or
Happy
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. But
Waterboy.
it worked. It was stupid, silly fun, and it was just a fun fart joke humor kind of thing, and it worked exactly for that.
Yeah.
So it was just
And-
a fun,
and-
goofy movie.
And my favorite thing, and I think you guys agree, that it's like in every scene that he's in, he's holding a beer.
Somehow or another, yes, he pulls a beer out from his hat, his jacket, his shirt,
His
his
pants,
pants,
his pants, his socks. He
Whatever.
pulls it out of a drawer. He just opens up a drawer and there's
He's
a beer.
always got a beer.
He's
It's
got a
just
beer.
like, yeah.
And even when he's doing like a fight sequence with Vanilla Ice, he's like, "Yeah, I didn't spill my beer." Yeah, it's like he's fighting and it's like, "Nope, I still got my beer. I'm cool," and everything. And but now let me ask you guys this: what would you say is Adam Sandler's? What would you pick as your favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy
I love
Gilmore?
Happy Gilmore.
I'd probably agree.
'Cause of Chubbs?
Just everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It's a goofy, silly movie and everything, but there's just something that every scene there's something in it. Not that there aren't other movies he's done that are like that, but I would say that one really clicked.
1 and 2, I'd say Happy Gilmore, then Billy Madison. I would have to say that.
Because Billy Madison's got a
Yeah.
share of funny stuff. I mean,
It is.
the Penguin is great. But the thing is, not to disagree, because I love Happy Gilmore and I love Billy Madison, but I still love watching The Water.
Spanglish.
Yes,
Spanglish.
no, Spanglish. Yeah. No, I still love watching The Waterboy.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
It's got the
Because
goofy humor and it works.
It's goofy humor, but it's also kind of like this goofy tall tale
Yeah.
that you could tell, like almost like a pure slice of Americana, like Casey Jones or those American tall tales we always say. It's like, yeah, you're here to tell about the Waterboy, this kid who does, and there's just so many funny jokes in it, and
It works.
It works.
Yeah.
It works for what it is. And you know who really works in it is I think what's make the
Kathy
movie.
Bates.
Yes. No. Henry Winkler.
Yes.
He came off. You know, I didn't know what to
Yes,
expect
it's
from him,
nice
but he
that
comes
kind
off
of
as like just this goofy
Coach
lovable,
goofy
who's
coach.
lost it. You know, his mind is completely like. No, and he has some funny jokes, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, it's great to see you having a nice little
Resurgence.
resurgence of your second career.
Yeah.
But yeah, Happy Gilmore, I love Chubbs, and it's like, hey Chubbs, when he brings in the alligator head
Yeah.
I got his damn eye.
and everything, and then just the fact that Bob, when he fights Bob Barker.
Yeah, that's a good spoof with Bob Barker.
Yeah, because you don't. It's like here's this. He's the lovable host of The Price Is Right, and now he's like, this guy sucks.
Kind of cursing, got
and
a
he's
foul
cursing
attitude.
him off, and he's pissed off at Happy Gilmore. And then they end up getting in that fight sequence, and they're fighting in the water. It's great.
Oh, you can't forget Joe Flaherty, jackass.
And Richard Kyle is in it too.
Yes.
Or Richard Keel, or Richard Kyle, or however you want to say his name.
His
if you
boss.
and if you don't know who that is, that's the guy who played Jaws in Moonraker and Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah.
Actually, reversed that. Spy Who Loved Me was first, then he played in Moonraker. But in any case, and then we kind of got brought back down again, back down to our passable, mediocre kind of year. I think mediocre is going to be this way I describe this summertime at the movies, because me and Eric, we went and saw Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter. And how was that?
It was all there. It was.
Actually, let me go first on this one. I haven't seen the film, but I will say this: seeing the trailers, it looks like a film that's just an action film. That's just gonna be a fun action film for the summer. I couldn't put any more detail into that, but going into the film, that's how I would feel going to see it.
Right. But now let me ask you this though: do you have this? But does the trailer make you have a desire to want to see the film, or just wait for DVD?
It really has me wanting to wait for DVD.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, and that's all that it is.
Okay, Popeye.
No, that was I am what I am, but I can't quote Popeye. No, it just was another mediocre, middle of the road film that looked like it had a lot of potential for it, and I agree.
Out of 10 stars, what would you give it?
Out of 10 stars?
Yep.
Why can't I say out of 5 stars?
Just answer the question.
I would say 2 stars.
You give it 2 out of 10 stars?
I don't know.
Jeez, you weren't that harsh on it when we saw it the other day.
Well, you know what? I take that back.
10.
I'd give Prometheus 2 stars. That movie, you don't understand.
All right, well, stay the course.
Prometheus makes me mad.
Yeah, I know. I'm not happy about it either, but we're talking about Abraham Lincoln Vampire
Prometheus feels
Hunter.
like I got kicked in the balls.
Anyway, Mark, so since you haven't seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and we lost the other guy over here to the other
I'm sitting in a glass case of emotion. I'm sitting on a ball of rage here for Prometheus because
I know, but we saw it, and now we're on to Abraham Lincoln.
Yes. Well, Abraham Lincoln did not disappoint me as much as Prometheus did. It still had a lot of potential for a really cool idea of a movie. You know, it's like, okay, it's a joke because, yes, we know Abraham Lincoln wasn't really a vampire hunter, and this movie played it up seriously. But I think the one thing that did surprise me about it was, like Mark says, the trailer makes it seem like nothing but an action film. And going into it, I thought that it was going to be nothing but an action film. But they did have drama, and actually develop kind of some.
It was a talkie.
Yeah, talkie, the new thing. No, they were building a story or a storyline that could have been really.
That was my ultimate
cool.
critique of the movie. The whole movie was there. Everything was there. The plot was there. But ultimately, the execution of what they did with the plot came off kind of messy. And you had this kind of elevated, heightened realism, and it worked. But even when they got to the climax and stuff, I know people can't see my hand raising in front of my eye level, but that was the thing. You had this heightened reality. It was fun to watch. But when it called for parts to be explosive or the climax, unfortunately, it stayed at the same level. So it was kind of, wow, this is exciting, but never went above that. So by the time the story ends, it just was like, okay, that's the end of 2 hours, and it was nice.
I think that's the other disappointing thing is that there's something at the end that feels like, oh, there could be more. And
right, and they certainly do leave it open and all that.
They left it open, and it's like, guys, that's where you could have developed something else. Or
they had their Civil War story to tell, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, like I said, I think the whole movie was in there. It's just unfortunately the way that the screenplay was written out didn't seem to elevate itself other than it's competent and everything.
I think, you know what the strangest thing was the fact that the guy looked like Liam Neeson the whole time. the whole time.
Yeah, both Nick and I, when we saw the film with the Abe Lincoln makeup on and everything, there were plenty of shots. He really looked like a younger Liam Neeson from, like, say, Darkman. It just kind of a young Liam Neeson. And
which was
that's
weird.
fine, but it was just we both noticed that kind of quietly, where it's like afterwards we both noticed. I was like, "Does that guy look like Liam Neeson?" And we're both like, "Yeah."
I will also say that Eric did have one problem with the film. Well, when well, you didn't. Well, when co-starring in Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter is Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who is considerably thinner.
I know what you're talking about. They had 3 oil lamps going when their kid was sick, and my father, being a historical accurate person, would never allow 3 oil lamps at that time period to be in one room lit low. That was dramatic license that they did not need.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't that. It was the fact that when there's a scene where she stands on his hat to kiss her, and Eric's like, it's
that
just the
hat
hat
would have caved in. She takes his hat off his head, puts it on the ground, and she stands on top of it in her kind of high heel spiky shoes to be eye to eye level with him to give him a kiss, and it's a nice touching scene. But again, it's just one of those things where
it's like, what is there, a brick under
real life?
Is there a brick under that hat? Because
it's filled with concrete, so she could stand.
It's a magic hat.
Yeah, it's exactly that. If Abraham Lincoln could fight vampires in the Civil War, he's got a stiff brim hat like in James Bond with Goldfinger, with the bowler.
Man, don't knock an odd job. He will take your head off,
yeah.
Or at least break your neck with the. We'll go into that. We'll go into that when we get to our James Bond talk.
Yes.
But no, I will say that Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter did have one cool element that I really loved.
3D.
No. Which was he has his axe that he uses to kill vampire hunters, and the action sequences are okay when he does the vampire
they're
killing.
all slick and very well choreographed.
Yeah,
it's not a poor production.
And the thing is, because they're few and I wouldn't say few and far between, but they are far between. It's not like it goes from action to action to action to action to action to action to action. So you're not overloaded with lots of action sequences. But I loved the fact that he had his
axe handle.
The axe had a gun hidden inside the handle, which was just awesome.
Yes.
Because in the scene where you see it used, it's like, you know what, that's cool. And I would love to see a prop like that actually come out.
I'm building one now.
Okay. You hear that, Internet? Eric is building one right now. It's an axe that has a gun hidden inside. So if you're ever in a fight with
a 12-gauge shotgun inside the axe handle.
If Eric ever pulls an axe on you, don't be fooled. There's a gun in there. So now we'll balance this out with we had our 3 good movies, but you know us, and we always do our bad movie plug of the week. But we're not going to do one bad movie plug of the week. We're going to do 3 bad movie plugs of the week because it's episode 3, and 3 is a running theme, I think, of the show. So the first bad plug, and I would say we're bouncing it off since we have Prometheus, Space Mutiny.
Ah.
Now, how good of a bad film was that?
It was an excellent bad film.
It was worthy of Mystery Science Theater 3000 making fun of it.
Yes, and it was actually one of the better Mystery Science Theater.
Yes, it was a good, bad,
Sci-Fi Channel.
Stupid movie to watch, just as is.
Never mind the recycled Battlestar Galactica footage that they used.
Yeah.
It was all like, wow, those are Cylons, those are the Vipers, those.
Yeah, they got to recycle
and I always love the opening shot because the Battlestar Galactica is going backwards.
Yes, for some reason the ship goes backwards, and they're telling us that that's the way the ship flies. I guess again just to make it look different, which is kind of silly because when you see it, only one thing typically comes to mind.
Yeah, it's Battlestar Galactica.
Well, how about the whole space? Well, not space, but the chase scene where he just insists on screaming every time he's driving.
Oh my god!
With electric carts.
Electric carts, and it's like, ah! And then he stops, and it's like, okay, I'm getting out.
And then,
and just the fact that the whole ship almost takes it's funny because the whole ship sort of takes a cue from Star Trek, where it's like, wow, this is a spaceship, but why does it look like they shot it in a factory?
Yep.
With just lots of pipes and catwalks and stairs and other things. That wouldn't necessarily be on a spaceship, at least not a spaceship as we understand it.
Yes.
Kind of like Star Trek, because it wasn't shot in a beer factory.
The new one.
Yeah, the new Star Trek. The original Enterprise was not shot. It was shot on a sound stage.
Anheuser-Busch.
the Star Trek made in 2009, directed by J.J. Abrams, which is a film I like. Does look like it was shot in a
Beer
brewery.
factory.
A brewery. Or beer factory, whatever you want to call it. It's like, why are those big... never mind. So our second bad movie that we're going to plug tonight is, since we talked about Abe Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, one of our favorite bad movies of all time.
Pod people.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter.
That was a doozy. That was
That
a great. That's a
certainly-
good low budget. I think we can all agree to recommend that if you can find this thing, you got to watch it. It's very
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's like Naked Gun meets Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where it's like they're goofing on religion, they're goofing on the Matrix, they're goofing on everything, and it's on a shoestring budget, but that adds to the charm of it, and it's just it's got musical numbers in it.
Yeah, it's got to. Once Jesus gets back to, once he gets back, he gets his hair cut, right, and then he still has his robes on.
Yeah, but he's kind of.
But then he's jabbing around town, and it's like, and he starts singing this musical number on the scooter, Mark, and
Peter,
everything, and it's just like, and all of a sudden it's all choreographed, and people are just kind of singing this song, and it's great. But my favorite is always going to be the atheist Jeep. That there's a fight sequence where he's in a park, and the atheists come up to him and like, we don't believe in you, or we don't believe in God, and we're going to kick your butt. And there's only like 5 or 6 of them at the time, but then this Jeep pulls up, and 5 more get out.
like a clown car.
And then this
pour out.
And the thing is, the same Jeep is there, and it's like, okay, more people get out, more people get out, more people. Some 30 people get out of the same Jeep, and I mean, not to spoil the story, but Jesus Christ kicks all their butts.
No.
Yes.
And who can forget the ending sequence?
You mean with Santos?
Santos.
The Mexican wrestler,
yes.
that gets
It's got it all.
that gets recruited to help Jesus Christ fight the lesbian.
And the random closing credit song.
Yes.
It's from start to finish. It's a gem.
It's a complete gem, and it's because the song is great at the end. But are you talking about when Jesus Christ
Starts groping the
girl
Yeah.
on the butt? Yeah, it's just like, like wow. But yeah,
God's a Sunday.
God is not a Sunday. It's a bowl. It's a bowl of cherries.
A bowl of cherries.
Or bowl of ice cream and cherries.
Ice cream and cherries. Yeah.
It's like, yep, there's God. But a total gem from start to finish, and I definitely recommend. And we bought it on a whim, right?
Yes.
I found it at the bookstore. Told you about it.
Yep.
You bought it.
And I bought it.
And then you bought it. Yeah.
Because it was cheap. I mean, it was.
Yeah,
like,
it was a decently priced.
This was cheap, and we'll just buy it and watch it. And it was great. It was one of those gems where we're just like, we don't know what we're gonna see, but oh my god, we just saw something awesome.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
Hilariously bad, but
good.
But good. And our third movie that we're gonna throw out there that we recommend you find, Wacko.
Ah.
I couldn't. Well, we
the
couldn't.
elephant.
We couldn't think of a good one. We couldn't think of a good one to counteract That's My Boy, because That's My Boy's a funny father-son comedy. We haven't really watched a lot of bad father-son comedies, but Wacko certainly had a bunch of good
cameos, humor.
and some great humor from George Kennedy.
Andrew Dice Clay, Andy Clay.
Yep.
Andy Clay, yeah.
A talking elephant.
A talking elephant. At the very end, it's like a Halloween party dance or something, and someone brings an elephant in, and the elephant talks.
People think it's a costume.
Yes, people think it's a costume, and the elephant's like, "It's not a costume, bitch," and everything. And yeah, and what was the name of that elephant? Bob the elephant.
But yeah, it was kind of like an airplane movie. You know,
who was the
just very scatological.
Was that the movie that had the pumpkin head killer? Was that the villain?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
That was going around killing everybody.
Yes.
I mean, because they played
it was a spoof slasher of Halloween. It's like Airplane meets Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis. It's the humor is all like the title, Wacko. It's just all over the place, and it's just a spoof of many different types of films. And like I said, George Kennedy's in it.
Yeah,
Andrew Dice Clay.
It's just a great film. I don't know if you can find it anymore, because I think we found it on.
We found that on a videotape, kind of scrounging around and everything. So
At
That
a
one
video store that doesn't exist anymore.
So that one might be a little harder to find. You might find it used on like eBay or
Maybe.
hack.com, but the other ones will.
I'm sure.
Jesus Christ
I'm sure you can
Vampire.
find Jesus Christ Vampire on it because that seemed like it was distributed.
That was had a wide release.
I mean, we found it just sitting on a store shelf, and there were lots of copies there of like,
Right.
oh, you can buy it.
And then
couple of
what
them.
was the other one? Space Mutiny.
Space Mutiny, I recommend finding the Mystery Science Theater 3000 episode.
I
of
found it
Space
used
Mutiny.
on eBay or half.com.
Yes,
But
and
yeah.
the uncut version is funnier to watch because it's the uncut, and there's a couple scenes that get
Nudity.
Yes, there's nudity and some
Space
scenes.
nudity.
But if you can't find that, definitely find the Mystery Science Theater episode.
Just as funny to watch.
It's just as funny as watch. It might be on Netflix. It might be on Amazon Unbox or iTunes. Any of those where you can download off the web, or because the thing is, I have it. My Mystery Science Theater version of it is in the box set that you bought at a store. Because Mystery Science Theater has been releasing all these different box sets, and they're $50 a shot, so they're kind of expensive, but they're worth it because you get 4 movies. You get 4 episodes, which are 4 movies, and it's hours of entertainment that are just like, wow. I can watch it again and again and again. So that's going to do it for episode 3. We're going to keep it short tonight because we're trying to keep our length down to under half hour, but oh well. So we're going to have our sign off, and we'll be doing this again after we see I don't know.
Ted, yes.
Yes.
Or,
Ted's
basically,
Ted's next up on deck, and then
Batman.
Dark Knight Rises. Maybe
In the end, they kill Batman. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Damn it!
I stole the script from Chris Nolan.
And then maybe in the interim we'll do another episode just based on how much Prometheus pisses me.
No, we're past it.
Maybe
We
I'll
did
do
our.
an episode.
There we go. Nick can do his solo adventures.
Yeah, I'll go solo and explain how much Prometheus pisses me off.
All right, calm down.
Arr!
It's just a movie.
I'm sitting in my chair of rage. So we're gonna sign off, Eric. And that's Mark signing off.
This is Eric signing off.
And I'm Nick signing off. Join us next time on No Title, right here on YouTube, live. No, not live. Taped a week ago. Thank you and good night.
Good night.